Want to watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months. Yo to Bolt fam, it's the director. Chargers fans, oh, we finally arrived. We finally made it. Chargers training camp kicked off today. And the Bolts, man, I don't know, dude. It feels like there's a mystery out there, right? Like we're watching a mystery movie unfold. Jim Harbaugh out here trying to solve what is the murder of the Chargers franchise of the past couple of seasons and re-earth it, right? Like we're trying to find a way to resurrect this squad. And lo and behold, every single week we're getting a couple more clues as to how we're going to accomplish that. Training camp's going to be one of the best environments to find that out, man. The Chargers are doing an awesome job so far in showing us that the pieces that are coming together are by design, that Jim Harbaugh's, master plan that has brought him so much success everywhere he's gone is off to a really, really good start here in training camp. And for the fans, I know everyone's super excited to see the squad back together. Chargers fans extremely eager to get back to football. This is going to be one of the best environments to make that happen. I got to tell you guys, I am so excited. I'm literally jumping on a plane tomorrow morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, to make it to training camp on time. If you guys are out there, say hi. I'll be wearing a director's jersey and grabbing some clips to throw on Twitter and possibly trying to get a video or two out while we're out there. It's going to be a really good time. But today we're going to go over a lot of the really cool stuff that we saw from training camp today and get us a little bit amped for what's to come, man. This first week, definitely very exciting, and I'm super excited to share with you guys some of the perspective that we have here. Now, before we do kick things off, shout out to the sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Use code DIRECTOR to match your first deposit up to $250. Newcomers take advantage of the special on screen. It's a great way to support my platform and have some fun along the way. Before we do kick off, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. Small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into it, man. Lights, camera, action.
Who's got it better than us?
Into the end zone, Charger fans are witnesses to history.
Our awesome Chargers Day 1 breakdown of training camp, man. Super exciting to see the band back together. I know everybody's excited, man. Everybody I'm talking to on Twitter and Chargers fans out in the world celebrating, like it kind of does feel like, I say this at a couple of different checkpoints in the year, but it kind of does feel like Chargers football is back, right? We're getting close to putting the pads on soon. I think there's a ramp-up period, right? And then a couple of practices down the road, we'll see them with the pads on. We are really rounding the corner to some actual Chargers football, man. To give you guys an even bigger, idea as to where we're at in the timeline. We're like 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from the first preseason game. I think the first preseason game is August 10th. So that's like a couple of Saturdays from now. If you're one of those crazy people like me who counts preseason games as NFL football, which by all means this season it probably counts more than ever, then really there's only a couple more Sundays left without football. I should say weeks left without football, as those games are going to be on Saturday. Either way, welcome back to Chargers fans, super excited. And today we got a little taste, a little sampler of what's to come in training camp. Of course, not a lot out there. I wasn't able to attend the first day, but we went out there and found some clips, looked at some things that as the Jim Harbaugh and the team is starting to build out there. Let's take a look at our first thing. Now, the first thing I did want to actually point out, which is actually kind of crazy. This is actually kind of crazy, finding out that Junior Colson, who's been out, right? I think he got injured like a month or so ago, and then recently he was put on the NFI list, I think, with an illness, right? He had an illness. It turns out that illness was appendicitis. Man was taken to the hospital. I think they just did surgery, maybe like a week ago. I don't know the timeline. I know official timeline here on the channel, but he had appendicitis, which is certainly very scary. I know it's one thing to get injured on the football field. That can be scary. Appendicitis, glad they caught that, man, because that could definitely have gone a different way without that kind of attention. So we're hoping Junior Colson has a speedy recovery, that he's comfortable, and for all everybody that's worried about, how's he going to be, integrated into the season? Is he going to be, behind everybody else? Maybe a little bit, but one of the biggest parts of Junior Colson's game was his smarts. The dude is a master of the Jesse Minter defense. He's a leader of the defense. That's not going to be affected whatsoever by the appendicitis surgery, which Dr. Google gave us some numbers on. Appendicitis, 1 to 3 week recovery, in some cases 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the kind of surgery that was required. It sounds like he got the appendix removed, so it may be a bit of a longer timeline. And then after that, he'll just need a little bit of time to get back into football shape. So I would more or less think that he's going to be available for a majority of the season, if not the whole season, depending on how his recovery goes. But appendicitis, those kinds of things, a lot of the times you see people back on their feet in no time. So we're hoping Junior Colson's good. We're glad that they caught it, and we're happy to hear that he's on the road to recovery there. The other guy that's been asked a lot about, at least in my videos, has been the Chargers running backs, right? What's going on with Gus Edwards? He's not been out there very often in these off-season programs. Well, come to find out that he had an off-season surgery. Very common, a lot of players like to get that sort of stuff done while they have the time in the season or in the year to recover. And it sounds like that he's starting to go through the motions of getting back out on the field. You guys take a look. We got some clips all over the place in this one, man. Thank you, X or AKA Twitter, for providing a lot of these, man. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. This is coming in by via Eric Williams, by the way. Thank you, Eric Williams, for providing the clips here. Dobbins and Edwards going through bag drills. Edwards is a big dude carrying the football. He sure is. Can we make this a little bit bigger out here? Hoping not to grab too much of the audio. There we go. Gus Edwards. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Gus Edwards, or at least being in the same room as him, when me and a bunch of this Chargers YouTubers got the chance to go out to Costa Mesa to their old facility and be present during one of the press conferences. And I'll tell you what, man, I myself am around the same size as Gus Edwards. We're both about 6 feet 1. This is a big dude, right? I'm a big dude in terms of big dude. This is a big dude in terms of big dude, bro. This is a dude you want running the football for you. And it's good to see him out there, the number 4 on his back, actually putting in some reps and showing, the Chargers and its fans what the new RB1 of this team is likely going to look like. And I'm so excited to see this style of football, man. I don't know about you guys. The Chargers, I'm not going to say the past, decade hasn't been fun. It's a big reason why I'm a Chargers fan. Chargers have been this gunslinging team. Phillip Rivers throwing the football, high volume passing. It's been awesome. It's been really fun, but it's not brought a lot of success, right? I'm so excited to see this new version of the Chargers where we got this big, bad running back, right? I mean, Gus is what, 6'1", 230 or something like that, 225. He's a big, big dude. And going to that style of offense is going to be very, very new, very fresh, and getting to see him in this footage and in these clips is certainly going to give us a nice preview of what to expect. And then also the backup. Take a look at J.K. Dobbins. Man, we'll get a cycle him back here in just a second. But J.K. Dobbins, whose career has been constantly derailed by injury, is looking great out there. This isn't the first time that we've seen him out there looking great, right? In off-season programs, he actually looks really, really good. A big concern for players coming back from injuries like that is their quickness and their speed. So far, man, J.K. Dobbins, he's looking awesome. And if Ben Herbert can keep him on the field more often than not, I think the Chargers really do have a formidable 1-2 punch at running back, which was good enough to sustain the Ravens offense. I do have to believe it's going to be a great way to kick off this new Chargers team on offense as well. Next up, let's move on to a big talking point, man. One that, honestly, I'm so happy to have heard Coach talk about in his press conference afterwards. It's the big guy, Quinton Johnston. Now, I got to tell you, man, I'm in the same boat as a lot of you guys. I was very disappointed in Quinton Johnston last season. We all had high hopes that he would run out here, first-round pick wide receiver. It's been a long time, now 3 or 4 years of first-round wide receivers coming out and lighting the league on storm. And, it's been a good, decade, maybe 5 years for wide receivers. And Quinton Johnston, unfortunately, would not be adding his name to the impressive list of rookie wide receivers in their first year. However, as much as it was tough to watch and as much criticism that he received from me and Chargers fans, it seems that Coach Harbaugh is not part of that voice, right? Coach Harbaugh has a different perspective. Of course, everybody inside the Chargers organization has a much different perspective of how these players actually are, how they perform, and what the situation actually is. And Coach Harbaugh had a lot of things to say. It almost felt like in his press conference that he went out of his way to talk a long time about Quinton Johnston, right? There's, 25 minutes in his press conference. He only has time to address so many things, and he took a solid chunk, to talk about Quinton Johnston and what the perception of him is, how he maybe has a bad rap, that, dropping a ball here or there does not make a bad wide receiver, forever. It was a tough go. He had a tough go, and Coach Harbaugh really, really, really does believe that Quinton Johnston is one of their best. I think is what he said, that he's going to be very involved. There's been a lot of rumors about him being a wide receiver 4 on the roster. I think that could end up still being the case. But right now, at least in training camp, the dude's been running with the ones, man, coming in from Beauty and the Bolts. You got a nice clip of Quinton Johnston bringing in a nice pass from Justin Herbert, man. Take a look at this. Very, very nice. Quinton Johnston. It's still a short little clip. It's a short little sample, but Quinton Johnston, let's take a look at this one more time. He's out on the perimeter, and I don't know, just gets underneath Christian Fulton there, kind of using some of the characteristics that we have come to recognize in Quinton Johnston's strengths, right? Try and get him in space a little bit, let his speed and his after-the-catch ability sustain his yardage and his contributions. And so far, that's a little bit of something to get us hyped. I think more so hearing what Coach had to say was a little bit more exciting than even this clip, which is cool. But Coach Harbaugh, man, I got to tell you, he's very, very optimistic. He knows the potential. He loves the speed. He loves the size. And he says that the product that has been painted in media is not the product that he's been seeing in person. And I think that's something that a lot of us, even me, have to come to terms with, because I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous about Quinton Johnston's second season. I'm very nervous that, with the wide receiver room being so much different, that he needs to step up again. I'm very much so hoping that he's up to the task. But right now, it feels like Coach is very confident, and that does bring me some confidence, okay? In this clip as well, thank you again, Beauty and the Bolts. A couple other things to kind of note out here. I was kind of wondering what the running back depth would look like a little bit. You'll take a look out there, number 34, Jarrett Patterson out there running next to Justin Herbert, obviously out there providing some extra blocking in that pass. But, ultimately, it makes me wonder what's going to go on with Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah Spiller is a guy that I've kind of been excited to see run in practice because of his style matching what finally the Chargers have put together on their offensive line. But here comes this Jarrett Patterson guy, and there's a couple of guys, Elijah Dotson as well, that haven't been mentioned much by us, because I've really felt that the depth chart is pretty set in stone right now with Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, Kamani Vidal, and Isaiah Spiller. But Spiller's role might be at risk here if guys like Patterson or Elijah Dotson step up, especially if they're good in pass pro. I'm certain that's going to help their case out a lot there too. Quinton Johnston, baby. Now, speaking of Chargers wide receivers, let's move on to the next guy here, who often gets forgotten. I think there's a lot of fresh hotness coming in, right? We got the second year in Quinton Johnston. We got second round wide receiver in Ladd McConkey. We got brand new free agent acquisition in DJ Chark. What about good old reliable Josh Palmer? Well, Josh Palmer is looking like old reliable. They talk a lot about, Coach Harbaugh talked a lot about how he is a great person to bounce off of in a conversation, but as well as puts in the work, and that he really is going to be a difference maker in this offense. I think Justin Herbert also mentioned how he loves Josh Palmer's versatility, which is very interesting. They're moving Josh Palmer all around the field, and it's something that is going to come to his strength, because when you take a look at Josh Palmer's game, his hands, his reliability, his solid route run, he just feels like an overall solid wide receiver. Being able to utilize him in different situations is certainly going to help his case. And we did see a little preview of him out there putting in some cool plays for the Bolt fam, right? Let's take a look here. Let's grab this clip one more time. There's Josh Palmer. You guys see that? What's going on with the helmets too? They're putting that little skin on top now, right? Like almost you throw on top of like a phone case or something. They're trying to make those big goofy head pieces look a little bit more like they're supposed to be in the game. There's talk that actually might translate into the actual season, which by all means, if they need the extra protection, sure, why not? But yeah, man, Josh Palmer out here putting in the work. He's looking nice. Again, all reliable. And it's so often the case that we take for granted what an all reliable sort of player can do for your football team. And that's going to be Josh Palmer for at least a couple of seasons, right? We're hoping that he does. I think this is his contract year, actually. We're hoping that he does put up a great stat line this year, that he's very involved in the offense and can grab an extension with the Chargers. Josh Palmer can be that guy for Justin Herbert in terms of like wide receiver 1 even, but at worst like wide receiver 2 or 3. With that sort of versatility, and his reliability is going to really lend him a lot of favor with guys like Coach Harbaugh, et cetera, et cetera. So Josh Palmer, all reliable. We can't forget what he's going to be doing for this team and how he currently is wide receiver 1 and the most experienced wide receiver in terms of the Chargers right now. So we're going to see plenty of him this offseason in training camp. Next up, oh, baby, when you're talking about highlights, you're talking about, like, big plays. Like, what's some of the most exciting stuff that we saw from training camp today? Well, this is probably going to be that, man. Take a look at this clip here. It's going to be Cam Hart with maybe the play of the day. Oh, baby, look at that, dude. Cam Hart, the dude is big, the dude is fast, the dude has that rare combination that coaches are looking for in the draft that makes guys like, Jalen Ramsey and Derwin James look good. Of course, he's got a lot of other stuff to work on in his game, but he makes maybe one of the biggest plays of the day out there. Looking for his interception, his first interception in training camp. He's going to get it via Easton Stick. Who was he in coverage with right there? Didn't quite catch the number, but a very nice ball hawking move, tracking the football and coming down with it. Chargers first team defense, mind you, looking like it's got some life out there. Let me see if I can catch the number this time. Is it 89? I can't tell if that's Parham or not. Either way, nice play by Cam Hart, who, again, running with the ones, pretty big deal. All right. Of course, the number 1 offense not out there, so it's going to provide maybe a little bit more opportunity to make a play. But outside of that, the competition at outside corner is going to be one to monitor. I'm going to be watching it like a hawk tomorrow and throughout the weekend. Who's lining up outside? I expect to see, Christian Fulton, Dean Leonard, of course, Cam Hart. Everybody's going to be getting shots at it, so they're going to try to find the nicest combination of dudes to run the cornerback's position. And Cam Hart, if he does pan out, man, if this, mid-late round pick sort of guy does pan out and does bring the talent that we need out there, the speed, at least the upside for now, I think we're going to be looking really, really good. Because right now, I got to be honest with you guys, corner is probably the biggest position I'm worried about. Corner is going to be a very, very tough thing for the Chargers to get right. And seeing any spark, even something as small as what we saw today, I mean, it's pretty big. The interception's a nice play. But even anything at all in terms of good news for the position is going to go a long way for me because it does need a lot of help. And it did feel like it's going to be a 2 or 3 year sort of project for the Chargers to get right in terms of the roster build. But seeing plays like this, seeing the potential, seeing a flash every once in a while, will definitely make me feel a lot better what we have on the roster right now. So Cam Hart, got to watch out for him. I'll be having my eye on number 20 all weekend, seeing what he's doing out there, but definitely could be that guy. And it even goes as far, I almost forgot to mention that Coach calls Cam Hart a Derwin James type of player, that he loves the size, the speed, and the playmaking ability. And then Derwin James in his press conference, or in his pressers, talked about how he loves him, that he's very coachable, that he's got a lot of potential. I don't know, man. We might actually have something in Cam Hart all of a sudden. So it's definitely something to keep a look at, man. I mean, he looks good here. We'll have to wait and see how it continues to develop. If he makes a couple more plays in training camp, I think we can all officially say Cam Hart on the radar for a guy to play on the outside for the Chargers this season. Next up, short little clip here, but a fun one. Denzel Perryman. I don't know if we can. Is this the right clip? Yes, it is. I don't know if we can see. You guys can see it as well there on the left side. Denzel Perryman, number 6, closing in on Donald Parham, and almost comes away with an interception. I think it was even Justin Herbert throwing the ball. Was it him? Yeah, it was. Look at that yellow jersey. Justin Herbert out there, almost intercepted by Denzel Perryman, which a lot of people, maybe wouldn't describe Denzel's pass coverage ability as his strength. That's, definitely nice to see a little bit of a flash of that this season, even in his later seasons. But what I'm more wanting to point out is that he looks fresh, man. That speed, that being able to read the play and jump in front of Donald Parham, the agility there, it's a good sign. The Chargers linebacker core needed a little bit of help. We weren't quite sure what it looked like at the top of the season. And then watching Denzel Perryman come back, I think a lot of us had expectations of like, he's good. He won't be great. He'll be all right. Like maybe he's a little bit old in the tooth or long in the tooth. He's a little old. Might not have the speed. Might not have the big plays like he used to. But right now it feels like he's doing pretty good. Chargers have been talking a lot about how he obviously welcoming him back, but how he's going to be a big part of the defense. I really honestly do believe it. His big hitting ability, his toughness, his aggression, like I do feel like it's going to really help the Chargers in a lot of situations in the middle of the field there. So nice plays by Denzel Perryman, and good to see him back in white right now, but also in powder blue. Another short clip here coming in from, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I've been missing all of the names here. We got Eva, FTD Tiva right there. We got, of course, Chargers official Chargers account here for a lot of these Beauty and the Bolts, making sure we give everybody the shouts for the clips here, man. All right, next up, another short clip here coming in from Gilberto. Says, yes, Joe Alt is a giant. I absolutely believe it. This is one thing that I'm more going to put this clip out and talk about a couple of the other things that we saw. I don't remember where I saw the clip, but he was looking really good there on the right side, right? I think Joe Alt being that monster. I mean, take a look at that for one. Like, this dude is absolutely huge. The other offensive linemen standing next to him are tiny in comparison to the size and stature of Joe Alt. He's absolutely he's a specimen, man. And this is really easy. Like, when you start to see him out there in practice and training camp, it's really easy to see why Jim Harbaugh fell in love with the idea of Joe Alt at number 5. And in some other clips, maybe we even saw it back with the Beauty and the Bolts clip. Let's take a look here. Was he out there on the right side? I can't quite tell. He's looking to be real nice in his transition to right tackle. Let's see over here. Is he out there? Yeah, there's Joe Alt on the right side. I don't know what we see him take on. He takes on Tuli. Nope. He's going to take on the nickel. And obviously, I think he's going to win versus the nickel every single time. But that agility to come out there, very nice. Either way, I feel like Joe Alt and his transition to the right side has looked very smooth. He looks huge. He looks like he's going to be a big part of the offensive system. Of course, I think a lot of us expected that. I cannot wait to see the pads come on and to see Gus Edwards counting the football on the right side behind Joe Alt, behind Trey Pipkins, who I think was also in that other clip. There's a lot to come back around with that and think about the potential of the Chargers. I'm even trying to squint a little bit here and see if I see Joe Alt out there. I think I do. He was able to round the corner there with I'm not sure which edge. Nice. Oh, it was Joey Bosa. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's Joe Alt right on that side. Okay, yeah, Joe Alt looking pretty good, man. Joe Alt looking really good. Excited to see his potential. Finally, last couple of things wanted to point out in terms of, okay, yeah, we got the Chargers tackles looking awesome. I can't wait to see that iron cutting or sharpening iron kind of thing. But take a look at this. Another one coming in from Gilberto. This clip gets me so hyped, dude. Watch this. We're going to watch the whole thing. Watch this, man. Here comes number 52. Man, the dude's mean. Chargers got a great one in Khalil Mack. I almost said Vontae Mack, man, watching draft day. Here comes the next one. Joey Bosa. Oh, my God, it's Joey Bosa. Another monster out there on the team, man. Right after him is that Tuli Tuipulotu. Wow, man. Chargers looking good 3 deep. Oh, wait, we're not done. Here comes number 48. That's going to be Bud Dupree. To round out what's the nastiest edge rushing group in the NFL, the Chargers. I mean, if you're another team out there, and they're going to continue on, right? If you're another team out there watching this, right, you see this clip, you happen to be on the Chargers schedule this season, you're scrolling, you see these 4 guys at Chargers practice, you got to think to yourself, man, what do we do? We're in trouble. How are we going to stop all 4 of these guys? Who is going to be lining up where? How many at once? Like, this was awesome. So exciting to see the Chargers in action, but also for the first, and it's funny because you think, right? Like, you see the depth chart, we know, we read, we watch videos, like, we understand what that edge room looks like, but watching them, for the first time, at least for me, in sequence, just running through a little drill here, right? It's awesome. It's intimidating, and it's going to be a big part of this defensive identity in 2024, man. Super, super cool little clip there, and one that I hope's got some other teams out there shaking in their boots a little bit. And then finally, one of the first clips I saw today was Asante Samuel Jr. running around, making a play. I think he just broke up this pass. I think it was Easton Stick, too. Yeah. I mean, nice pass by Easton Stick. But Asante Samuel said, no, sir, man, makes a play out here. And the biggest reason why I wanted to show this, too, is that he's looking at, by all means, in every, off-season, program and practice or whatever. He's looked as reliable as anybody. And that's going to be really important this season. The Chargers, like I mentioned, they got me a little bit nervous at the position of corner, right? They don't have my complete confidence quite yet. But having a solid corner one is a good start, right? He's going to help elevate the other guys, give a solid play on one side, give us somewhere to start, right? It's good. It's good. And being reliable and at least having that one piece is going to give us a little bit of leeway as we continue looking for who the guy is going to be opposite him or in the slot or whatever. Because Jasir Taylor, he can be great at times, sometimes maybe a little bit above average or below average. Tareeb still could be the next nickel guy. You never know. Cam Hart, as we saw, could be the next perimeter guy. But as of right now, we just have no idea. It's going to be a position, again, that I'm going to be paying very close attention to tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend. All right. So, I mean, yeah, a little bit of a different video today. More so just kind of watching together, getting excited together, getting pumped together about how the Chargers training camp has officially kicked off. The season feels like it's pretty much here. We got preseason coming around the corner, I think, again, on the 10th. So in just a couple of weeks now, my word, man, we are here. We are ready. The Chargers are going to be showing some awesome competition in these next couple of weeks via training camp and preseason. It's going to be a fun one, man. And again, like I mentioned at the top of the episode, it feels like we're watching a mystery movie, right? One of those Oriental Express movies, right? With the defective Pinoir, whatever his name is, right? Like, it's fun. It's fun to see how the clues come together, how the mystery unfolds, and how Jim Harbaugh is going to make it all work, is going to rescue this team from what it has been the past several seasons. And that's probably the best part for me, being a fan, watching this all unfold, being able to put my feet up and really just take in the process, right? And there's a lot of seasons where I'm trying to dissect everything and unearth everything for myself and try and figure out for myself, what should they do? What should we get excited about if they accomplish? What should we be nervous about if they don't address? Like, this season, I'm just really excited to be there and to watch and to appreciate and to study and to listen, right? Like, that is the kind of effect Jim Harbaugh's had on me as a fan, and it's really evident to see that it's working on the field. I'm very pumped, man. I'm very, very pumped, and I'm going to go in with a very similar mindset tomorrow and for the weekend, just trying to really absorb everything and take it all in and get awestruck by the Bolt and that new facility and meeting the Bolt fam out here, right? And getting to connect with Chargers fans, but more so just absorb what the team looks like out there on the field for the first time in this, version of them that I get to see in person, and just really take it all in and have fun with it, so I can relay that back to you guys as a fan, as a hype guy, even a little bit, but more so as someone that has hope that this team is really close to turning a corner. And it's days like this and days and weekends like this where the Chargers are going to prove it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. If you like what you saw here, hit us up with a like and sub on the way out. We'll see you next time, man. It might be a little bit later in the week. It might be, next week if we can't get a video out on the spot, on the fly out in the field. But definitely take a look at my Twitter and Instagram, where I'm going to be posting as many clips as I possibly can of the new Chargers and of Jim Harbaugh and of just me and the guys and the Bolt fam having a lot of fun. I'm super excited to meet a lot of you guys out there too. Well, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me. We'll catch you next time. As always, Bolt up, stay frosty, Bobby in flat, baby, and then we're going to be at the Bolt. Let's go!